The Norse lands are breathtaking, but their winters are brutal, more a force of nature than a season. For Vikings, surviving the endless cold and darkness demanded ingenuity. The sun barely rose, the air bit at skin, and the ground froze solid. Fire was vital, but it wasn't enough. Fuel was scarce, and smoke filled homes without chimneys. The real battle was about keeping warmth in, not just making more of it. Viking longhouses were engineered for insulation. Thick turf walls, low roofs, and clever use of local materials. Every design choice aimed to trap heat and keep the cold at bay. They mastered using earth, plants, and animal products to create warmth. Their approach combined fire with passive heat retention, a holistic survival strategy. The quiet art of insulation reveals their true resourcefulness. This is the forgotten side of Viking winter survival. The fight against the cold started at ground level. A frozen floor sucked heat from the room and its people. Vikings used what nature provided: straw, moss, and animal hides. Straw, abundant after harvest, trapped air and insulated the floor. Dried moss, especially sphagnum, added another layer of warmth and absorbed dampness. Treated animal hides, wool or fur intact, topped the layers for extra insulation and comfort. These materials formed a multi-layered barrier, keeping warmth in and cold out. The result? A soft, warm surface to walk and sleep on, transforming hard earth into a cosy living space. This wasn't luxury. It was survival. Every layer mattered, each one slow in heat loss. Even without modern furniture, this natural carpet made life bearable. The Vikings' floor insulation was their first and most crucial line of defence. It was a simple, effective answer to a relentless problem. The Vikings didn't just pile materials, they layered them with purpose. Multiple layers of straw, moss and reeds created countless air pockets, maximizing insulation. Raised wooden platforms, especially for sleeping, lifted people off the cold ground. The space beneath was packed with more insulating material, forming a deep buffer zone. This design kept sleeping areas warmer and drier, vital for health in winter. Raised platforms also organized the longhouse, separating living and sleeping spaces. Imagine retreating to a bed of furs atop a raised, insulated platform, a haven of warmth. Simple engineering, profound comfort. The Vikings turned basic materials into a shield against the cold. Insulation trapped heat, but the Vikings also used passive heating. Body heat from families and livestock was a major warmth source. Thick walls and floors captured every bit of this heat. The central hearth stones absorbed fire's warmth, releasing it slowly overnight. But a sealed house was dangerous. Smoke and carbon monoxide could build up. High vents at the gable ends let smoke and stale air escape, drawing in fresh air below. The balance was delicate, enough ventilation for safety, but not so much that warmth was lost. Warm air escaped high up, while cooler air stayed near the floor where people lived. This natural convection kept the air healthy without sacrificing heat. It was a sophisticated, life-saving solution. Viking wisdom is gold for modern survivalists. The principle: insulate with local natural materials. In the wild, use what's abundant: leaves, pine needles, grasses, moss. Build a raised bed with a log or rock frame at least a foot high. Fill it with layers. Coarse branches at the bottom, then leaves, pine needles, grass and moss. Each layer traps air, boosting insulation. Top it with something soft. dry grass or a blanket if you have one. Use the same method for shelter walls, packing materials densely to block wind but trap air. Test your shelter. If you see daylight, add more insulation. The Viking method is about creating a full thermal envelope, not just a roof. These ancient techniques are still the blueprint for warmth in the wild. Survival is about smart layering, not just brute force. Insulation wasn't a set-and-forget job for Vikings. Straw, moss and hides compressed and got damp over time, losing their insulating power. Regularly, the old compacted layers were removed. Hard work, but essential. The discarded material became fertilizer for fields, closing the resource loop. Fresh, dry insulation was laid down, restoring warmth and comfort. Constant observation was key. Damp spots, musty smells, or compressed areas meant it was time to refresh. Everyone in the household took part in this maintenance. The lesson: natural insulation needs active care. Survival means not just building, but maintaining your shelter. The Vikings' greatest survival tool was their mindset. They saw opportunity in every resource. Straw as insulation, bogs as sources of moss, nothing wasted. Every part of an animal or plant had a use, from bones to hides to turf. This wasn't just thrift, it was essential for survival. Their methods adapted to local resources, no single blueprint, just flexible problem-solving. They observed, experimented and adjusted, always learning from their environment. This resourceful, adaptive spirit is their true legacy. The Viking way teaches us to look for solutions in what's around us. It's a call to be inventive, observant, and connected to our world. The Viking story is about more than surviving winter. It's about ingenuity and harmony with nature. Their layered insulation and passive heating were practical, sustainable, and effective. Raised floors, high vents, and natural materials made their homes true sanctuaries. These ancient methods are still relevant for survivalists and eco-builders today. The Vikings remind us that cleverness and observation beat brute force. With resourcefulness and adaptation, we can thrive in any environment. Their quiet story of warmth without fire is a timeless lesson in human resilience.